Today we will be displaying 7 gruesome facts about Andrei Chikatilo, the Rostov Ripper. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for new videos on serial killers every week. Fact 1: He mutilated Larisa Kachenko with his teeth after beating her to death. Larisa Kachenko was a 17-year-old student when she was approached by Andrei Chikatilo at a bus stop. She became his second victim. He talked her into going with him to a secluded area for some quiet time talking and drinking alcohol. However, once the two reached a forested area near the Don River, Chikatilo attempted to rape Kachenko. He was physically unable to follow through with his plans, so he beat her to death with his fists, strangled her, stuffed mud into her mouth, and then mutilated her dead body with a stick and his teeth. In the process, he bit off one of her nipples. Then, rather than bury her body, he covered her with leaves and the pages of newspapers he was carrying on him at the time. Fact 2: He stabbed Lyubov Byrok 22 times and gouged out her eyes. Lyubov Byrok, Andrei Chikatilo's third victim, was only 13 years old. She was walking home past a secluded bus station when he attacked her, dragging her into a heavily wooded area along the path. There he ripped off her clothing and proceeded to stab her to death. She was stabbed at least 22 times in her neck, head, chest, and pelvic area. The coroner found wounds in her eye sockets as well, proof that Chikatilo had gouged out her eyes. Apparently, the first stab wounds, those to her neck, were done from the back. Chikatilo didn't waste any time in killing her once he had her alone. Fact 3: He admitted to killing 56 people. Andrei Chikatilo's official body count stands at 56. According to his confession, although most of his early victims were young girls, he was not overly discerning at the end, and killed young boys and a number of women as well. He was charged with 53 deaths, 18 women, 14 girls, and 21 boys. His oldest victim was 29-year-old Tatiana Petrosian, while his youngest was 7-year-old Igor Gidkov. Fact 4: He was fired from teaching jobs for molesting his students. After finishing high school, Chikatilo attended college at Rostov University via correspondence courses. He had first tried to get into Moscow State University, but despite his good high school grades, he was not admitted, possibly because of his father's blemished military record. After finally completing his degree from Rostov and spending 3 years in the Soviet military, where he worked as a border guard in Central Asia and then for the KGB, Chikatilo went to work as a teacher. His first molestation victim was a 15-year-old girl whom he locked in his classroom. He was fired from that teaching job, as well as a few others, for the same reasons. He eventually gave up teaching and began working as a supply clerk for a company in Rostov, a job that gave him plenty of opportunities to travel around the country. Fact 5: He testified in court from inside an iron cage. Andrei Chikatilo's trial began in April 1992. Throughout the trial, he tried several times to be found innocent on the grounds of insanity, but every evaluation that he went through found him to be completely sane. Chikatilo spent his time in the courtroom locked in a special iron cage, both for his own protection and to keep everyone else in the room safe. He was found guilty and sentenced to both death and 86 years in prison on October 15, 1992. Fact 6: He had a briefcase filled with murder implements. Many jokes have been made about people purchasing things that fit the category of a serial killer kit. Andrei Chikatilo actually had one. When he was finally stopped by Detective Alexander Sonosovsky in September 1984, Chikatilo had a briefcase filled with his killing tools, including a knife, rope, Vaseline, and a towel. Fact 7: He was arrested and then released due to misleading DNA results. Andrei Chikatilo began killing in 1978 and continued steadily up through 1990, when he was arrested for the second time. His first arrest for murder, in 1984, did not go as planned for the detective who arrested him. Chikatilo was caught lurking around a bus station and fit the profile. However, when law enforcement checked his blood type, DNA was in its infancy in the early 1980s, especially in the USSR. It came back as type A. The semen found on his victims was type AB. These days, DNA analysts know that it is entirely possible, albeit rare, for one person to have blood and semen with different blood types. Back then, this wasn't even considered a possibility, so Chikatilo was released to continue killing. Please subscribe to the channel. If we missed anything, let us know.